Hello everybody and welcome back to our Arizona Adventure Park. We are in episode number 4 today and we are going to build something new and exciting. In our last episode we built the Binturong Aviary and I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, we still have no shades for our visitors, but we are going to get there at some point for sure. And here's the inside of the habitat, and we are going to build right next to it today. Still no rides, but I already have the idea where I'm going to put down the station. But we are going to build in this area today, and we are starting with something that I already had mentioned in one of the last episodes. We are going to start building our Big Cat Canyon. And we are starting with the Cougars today. I was thinking about quite some time what I wanted to build in this episode. First of all, I was thinking about building something on the opposite side of the Binturong Aviary. So at the other side of our entrance building, I was thinking about some kind of a pool for our African penguins, because I thought that would look pretty nice over there. But in the end I decided no, I want to go with the Big Cat Canyon, and let's see where it leads to. So what I'm going to do, or what I was doing, was I lowered the ground with those stamp tools, and then I created some soft elevation into the canyon for our visitors, so that they don't have to go down by using some stairs. You can also do this with the stamp tool. That will make it very, very easy, because you could use it like you are actually creating a building. And then also you can smooth it out a little bit by choosing the option to smooth it on the surface. And that's what I was doing here. It didn't go quite as planned, so I had to smooth a lot of the terrain out again, so that it looked nice and like I wanted it to look. And then I was going to build the path around it, so that I could envision how the first of our canyon habitats would have to look like. I also wanted it not to be just something like a steep hole in the terrain where our animals are in there. I wanted it to be a much more elevated kind of habitat for our animals, and especially for our cougars in here. And I was pretty excited, because I already built a cougar habitat in Swamp Lake Zoo, but in a completely different environment. So I built in some kind of North American National Park theme, and now we are going to build a desert habitat for our cougars, which is also quite very natural, because cougars in North America, or even in Mexico, do live in a desert kind of environment. So I also was thinking about giving them some kind of waterfall in here with some little water feature. You might have seen how you build waterfalls that are flowing down in a cascade kind of style in one of my other videos, in playing with water in one of the classroom videos. If you haven't watched it yet, you definitely should check it out, because it will explain to you how you can build waterfalls easily and without using those special effects. But these fake waterfalls that we got from, I think it was the aquatic pack. Yeah, so I was laying out the groundwork here, also painting the terrain with some rock color to make it look a little bit more nice and give it a little more shape. And then we are going into the rock work. And this is already a small part of where the magic of where or when the magic happens, because when you start putting down rocks, it gives you kind of an idea how your habitat might look in the end. And I also mentioned it, I think, in one of our last episodes, or was it one of my German episodes. Now that we have this option that we can use the rocks and they will spin around in different angles automatically, and we don't have to do it ourselves, I noticed that I don't use that much of different rocks anymore. You won't notice it if you look at them right now, but all of these rocks that I put down there are all the same. So yeah, once again, that option with that rocks and with the foliage as well is so great, and it's such a game changer for me and for many other creators as well. Yeah, as I said, this is where the magic happens. You can change a simple habitat so much with the right placement and the right amount of rocks and foliage, that is just incredible. Yeah, here I'm putting down some of the special effects for where the waterfall reaches this little pond, so that we might have a little splash in there. That might look a little bit more realistic then. Yeah, also, like I mentioned in the last episode, I am really in love with the fake rocks, at least with these small, like gravel pieces. Especially in the desert environment, because that fits so perfect. And yeah, as you can see, it gives the whole thing such a nice look. The next thing was I was thinking about what I wanted to do with with the fence around our habitat, and I was not quite sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to give it some kind of man-made look, as we already did with Lemur Island, as we covered the whole area around it with those plaster pieces. I also wanted to do it in some shape or form here as well. In the end, I changed a lot of it again because I didn't feel it that much. Yeah, but then in the end, I decided, before we are going to do the fence, I wanted to do something like, for the sidewalk, or some kind of barrier for optical barrier for our path there. And so I used the same pieces that I already used in the rest of the zoo to cover these, and then I was going to build some kind of a shelter for our animals, which turned out pretty cool, because it was so perfectly fitting at the backside of our Binturong aviary. The only thing that didn't work as I wanted it to was I wanted the keepers to be able to enter the habitat with this backstage path that I was building here right now, because it matched everything so perfectly and it would have looked so great. But in the end, I was not able to put the entrance to the habitat. To put the entrance of the habitat inside there, so I had to put down the entrance on the outside. So this looks like the keepers could go in there with this backstage area, but in the end, unfortunately, they are not able to. And that is something that I really like about these plaster pieces, because they melt into each other so perfectly that it really looks pretty nice. And it fits so perfectly to as I already mentioned, to the backside of our binturong aviary. So I was leaving the roof open a little because, as I told you, I wanted to. Here you can see what I meant with they melt in each other perfectly, and no sea fighting. That's the most important thing. I was trying to put down the gate, and here you can see I was not able to put it in here. I tried to change a bit of it with the barriers for the binturong habitat on the backside. I also laid down the whole barrier in the end, just to be able to put down the gate after I had finished this maybe, but in the end I was not able to, and here you can see it is too small, and it kept saying to me that I can't put down two habitat entrance to one habitat, which is weird because this is this is perfectly a new habitat, but as I told you, it didn't work. So I put down the entrance there, which was also not that big of a problem because that already was some kind of a backstage area right there. So maybe that was the better option anyways. So what I was doing now was what I mentioned already. I was trying to build some kind of a fencing. As we are going to put in this habitat some of our predators, some big cats, I wanted to go with some kind of double fencing in the beginning. So what I was doing is I was copying our aviary walls from the binturong and changed it up a little bit, made those those framing metal beams a little bit smaller, chose the smaller ones, and because I didn't want it to be that overwhelming here, because I was not happy from the beginning that I was going to put down some mesh fence pieces in the area where you would watch the animals, because I was thinking about something that would be a little bit more open. But well, I also put down some more plaster pieces in that staircase type of form, and here we were going with the double fencing that I was going to put down, because as I said so many times, at least in habitats where you have predators in there, like those big cats that we are going to put in the habitat, you don't want people to come too close to your animals, so that they try to touch them or to pet them and then lose a finger or a hand or something. That's why you put down double fencing. Also, if you have glass walls, like I was going to build here, because as I told you, I wasn't happy with the idea of mesh fence. You also don't want your visitors every time to come too close to the windows and tap against the windows and disturb your animals with that. That's also a reason why you would use double fencing. Here I was trying to fancy that big window a little bit up, but I wasn't really feeling what I was doing, so I was thinking about doing something different and put some mesh pieces on top of it, and cover it on top of it with another plaster piece. I thought that this was really looking nice, but to be fair, if I look at it right now, I think that this kind of fence would match an indoor habitat very much better than it does with an outdoor habitat. And here you can see what I was going for. I wanted these huge plaster pieces in the background behind the glass front to be something, to reach to the ground of the habitat of the cougars, so that they won't be able to escape, so that there is this steep wall inside of the habitat. Yeah, it's also pretty easy to cover those gaps with those plaster pieces, because as I said before, they are melting into each other pretty perfectly. There I was looking around from every kind of angle and thinking about if I was happy with it. It didn't look bad. To be clear, it looked pretty cool, but as I said, it was not the vibe I was going for in the Big Cat Canyon, because this would look a little not boring, but it would. It wouldn't look like I wanted it to look. It wouldn't be that open that I wished for this area. So here you can see what I did. I deleted almost everything, just kept the base, put some small fence on top of it, and also put down those fence again, and did it in an 45-degree angle, so that we have something more like security, so that our animals won't be able to climb out of the habitat. I also went with these signposts that we have in the game, that many people use to make something look like not really like an electric fence, but once again, I don't know the word in English, but like those fences that you have, where you don't want someone to climb over it, because they would get hurt if they climb over it, like with those thorns everywhere. Maybe you could tell me what the correct word for this is in the comments, so I know it the next time. Yeah, and I also wanted it not to be seen if you look into the habitat from the outside. yeah, so I lowered it down a little bit more so that you actually now can't see these pieces when you look in the habitat from the outside. And here this was something that was really annoying. Once I changed the pieces and deleted the glass pieces and the mesh pieces and so on, I was not able to align them, the whole fence to the grid anymore. So if I was copying it around and trying to move it, it was a mess. Yeah, that's why I cut it out and did it off cam, because as I said, that really was a mess. Yeah, on the sides of the habitat, I decided to go with our aviary pieces from the binturong to cover those, which turned out really nice, as I have to say, because once again we have this man-made feeling around it, once again, that we were going for, with those huge plaster pieces that were covering up the background a little bit. I also didn't want it to be that huge of a wall on the part of the visitors, on the side of the visitors where they were looking into the habitat. So I was going to lower those pieces down every now and then, so that it would make a lot more sense. Yeah, there I noticed that I didn't copy everything of the pieces, and yeah, I did some kind of repair work here to make it look a little bit better and nice. And in the end, I was really happy with how this was going to look, because if you look at it when it is finished, it definitely looks like something that you actually would see in a real zoo. There might be these. I guess I've seen something like that, with these high mesh fence walls on the side of an habitat. I guess I've seen this in Tierpark Berlin, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, here you can see it. Yeah, I definitely love how this looks. And we're also doing this on the other side of the habitat until we have finished our fencing, and after that we are going to do some foliage work and bring the magic to an end. Yeah. And I'm always amazed with this game, because I don't know if it is just me or if it's the same for you. Always when I start building something, I have something like a small idea in my head what I want to go for, and yeah, I just start building, and I just go with the vibe then and see where it might take me, and I am so happy with the game and the many options that we have in here, because most of the times it just turns out really great and really cool. So I'm just interested how you are building in your zoos. Do you have some kind of a master plan, or what you are going to build, what you want to achieve, or are you just just like me, like I want to have something for big cats and just start building and see where it might take you. Just let me know in the comments. I would really love to know how you guys are going into a build. Yeah, and here you can see we finished the barriers of our habitat. Now I'm putting in a lot of the enrichment items for our cougars so that we can start decorating afterwards, because it is much easier to put down the foliage after you put in the enrichment items if you do it otherwise. And I was really happy with how it turned out with all the plants in there, because as I told you, the last habitat for the cougars that I built was in a North American national park environment, like something like Yosemite or Yellowstone. And this here is completely different. I also didn't build that much in a desert environment in the past, so I'm really happy and really amazed by how cool the desert environment with all these plants looks. You already can see in there I don't have that much plants in the habitat, and it already looks pretty cool. So what I was going to do, I was going to not put down too many trees, because that would be not right for a desert environment, and especially not for something like where you put in the cougars in a desert environment. I think about California or something like that. You won't see that many trees in there, at least in a dry environment. So I was going to put down a lot of shrubbery, and I also am very happy with the cacti. Is it called cacti in English? That I was putting down, because it looked so good with those in there. And also I really love this kind of grass. Yeah, you already can see how things are coming together. And yeah, that's something you also should keep in mind when you build habitats for the animals, or you are working in nature, as I might call it. If you put down shrubbery, if you put down those bushes or these long grass pieces, just try to make it sense. As you can see, I used these long grass pieces almost everywhere that I put those fake rocks, those gravel pieces in the ground. So it really, it absolutely makes sense that you would see this long grass in all those pieces or close to that. So that makes it look a little bit more realistic. So when you put down these plants, always try to figure out where you want to put it down, and go with that for the whole habitat. So that makes it look nice and natural. Don't go too wild, and don't use plants in just one single corner and in the other completely different plants. Just try to make it natural and make it make sense. Yeah, as you can see, we are already finished with our plants. I'm really happy how it looks, and I guess it's time to put in our animals now. We just have to make sure that our keepers will take care of the cougars. So I added this this enclosure to our work zone. And yeah, now we are waiting until our cougars arrive, and see if they are happy with what we built in here. So not much decoration around it already. That is something that might happen in another episode, or maybe I will do some of it off cam. Just let me know if you want to see something like that, if I'm doing the outside decorations, or if you are more interested in just building habitats. Yeah, so our cougars are in the habitat, and they seem to be doing pretty nice. I just made some screenshots for the thumbnail on YouTube, and now we are going to watch our animals in our great new habitat. I don't know if it is really this difficult, but the jumping animations of the cats and of the animals in general are really a little bit, not just a little bit, they are pretty weird. Maybe it is possible for Frontier to change that in the future somehow. Yeah, but here we are. We are at the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss the next episode of Arizona Adventure Park. I just had to think about how a park was named. Oh my god. Yeah. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself, and see you in the next episode. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bäst, jag kan vara på Dan på boan.